first of all, appreciate your time. I'm really impressed with the car. This is going to be the substitute for the M-Class, for the ML? Or
No. We have a new name, which is GLE, and the current M-Class will have a facelift. But on top of that, in addition, we have the GLE Coupe, and that is what is all new. The combination of all the virtues of a real strong SUV with the sporty appearance of a coupe.
So this will be the design language that's going to carry through to the rest of what was known as the ML class.
Correct.
It will now be the GLE
Correct.
class.
Correct.
Do you expect, I mean, it's a rather large car. Do you expect to hit sort of the sweet spot of the mid-size SUVs with these?
Yes, I think the overall length is identical with the former M-Class and now GLE, but it appears longer because it's slicker, and therefore, but I think that's doing well for the design, and we clearly think that we can attract additional new customers, younger, more sporty customers with that.
Gas is so much cheaper, the euro is so much cheaper. How much is this a tailwind for Mercedes?
Well, of course, we are hedged as we should be, so the spot prices are not affecting us short term. Mid-term, of course, that's a tailwind. The gas helps altogether to shift from cars to light trucks, SUVs as one of them. So I think everything is in perfect form for this vehicle, even though this is a very efficient vehicle as well, with a good efficient fuel consumption.
You're hedged financially, but also in that you build a lot of things locally in different markets as well. Do you want to go further in that direction? Do you need to move more production to the U.S., Mexico, Canada?
I mean, we still have a huge dollar exposure, and we want to be where the market is, and growth is basically not in Europe, but in Asia and in North America. And that's why all our further capacity expansion will happen in these countries. We just announced a few months ago a new plant in Mexico, which will add to Tuscaloosa.
And you also announced a move from New Jersey to Atlanta for your
Correct.
corporate U.S. headquarters. I would be excited were I a Mercedes executive, because it's quite cool to live down in Atlanta. But what reaction have you had to that move? Because I know politicians in New Jersey are already saying we need to cut tax rates, and obviously there's some union effects as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that we would not have been satisfied in New Jersey. This was for almost 50 years, a very good state for us, and we had great partners there. Now we are moving on. Now we are rejuvenating our overall appearance together with the new products, and we think Atlanta is a very cool place to go. Of course, with our people, reaction have been mixed. Many were excited and are looking forward. Others who would or will prefer to stay, of course, have a somewhat different perspective.
What do you think, when I think about the German car makers, each has its own specific characteristic, or at least BMW seems to be going after the sporty drivers. Audi is kind of an understated thing. Is Mercedes pure luxury?
We define ourselves as modern luxury. So yes, we want to be at the top, but with a light-hearted and a very dynamic approach. And I think that's what our cars clearly transmits. Meanwhile, with their styling, with their technology, that we want to be the leaders, and I think a lot of things are going to our direction.
Well, you've got a lot of great new products. Obviously, the Maybach editions are exciting for those interested in luxury. The AMG, for me, as a sports car guy, is really exciting. This just blows me away. What would your favorite car, if Dieter Zetsche could only have one Mercedes, what would you choose?
Well, that's a very, very tough call. I would prefer to have 10, but if it's one, and at that moment, it might be the GT.
The GT. Very good choice. All right, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Actually, one personal question I have, or a personal preference. Are you ever going to go back to manual transmissions, or do you think that's just a thing of the past?
I love manual transmissions. My kids do. This seems to be a very limited species. So as there's so little demand, it's kind of a thing of the past.
Sad.
Unfortunately.
Sad news. But thanks very much. The car looks
Pleasure.
great.
Thank you
The
very
car
much.
looks great.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that.